Welcome and thank you for joining our training webinar on getting started with FeedbackFive. First, a quick introduction of me because you may not have all talked with me before. My name is Rachel Hoover. I'm a Customer Success Advisor for FeedbackFive here at Ecom Engine. And that means I handle personal onboarding sessions and account reviews, and I create help content. And outside of work, I mostly like reading and writing and baking. I've been trying a lot of new recipes during all the shutdowns lately, which has been fun. Now, just a quick introduction of Ecom Engine as well. We were founded in about 2007. We're headquartered in Richmond, Virginia, and FeedbackFive is our flagship tool. We also have Restock Pro, which is an FBA inventory management tool, Market Scout, which is a sourcing and product research tool, and Smart Price, which is an automatic repricer. So if you're ever interested in any of our other tools besides FeedbackFive, feel free to check out our website pages and get in touch with us. We'd be happy to get you a demo or a free trial. But today we're focused on FeedbackFive and specifically how to set up FeedbackFive for success. So we're going to cover 5 basic steps for getting your account fully set up. And even if you've been with FeedbackFive for a while, it's good to double check all of these things and just make sure they're fully working for you and that you're getting the best results. So the first steps to cover will be to just double check your Amazon MWS connection and your solicitation email address. Then we'll move on to how to start sending emails. We have a couple of different options for doing that now. So we will cover the regular buyer-seller messaging route with our wizard or custom templates, and then also our new official Amazon feedback and review request. Next, we'll cover how to monitor product reviews and how to monitor seller feedback if you're on the Pro plan or above, so you can see all of the results you're getting, and how to activate alerts so that you're aware of any negative ratings and you can address them quickly. So to start off, let's check your solicitation email address and your Amazon connection. So your solicitation email address is the email address that you entered during your sign-up process, and this is what FeedbackFive uses as its from address when sending messages through buyer-seller messaging. And you can see what it is by going to Store Settings in your FeedbackFive account. And you just want to make sure that whatever email address you see there is an approved sender in Seller Central. To check that, you'll go to Seller Central and just click on Messages and then click Authorized Emails. So just make sure that the 2 of those match so that your messages can actually get through to your buyers. Secondly, your MWS connection. This is the way that FeedbackFive pulls in your order data and all the other information so that it can send out messages. And to do this, you'll need to make sure that you have the primary administrative login for your Seller Central account. Then you'll go into FeedbackFive, go to Store Settings, click on Amazon MWS, and then click the flag button that you see there. You'll get a new pop-up window where you will log into Amazon Seller Central, again, as the primary administrator of your account. And you should just get a success message. If you don't see a success message, if you have any issues or difficulties with getting your MWS connected or reconnected, just contact us and we'll be happy to help you troubleshoot. So now that you have those kind of back-end connection details all set up, it's time for the fun part, which is how to start sending emails. So we have a few different template options in FeedbackFive, and templates are the email content, so the actual message that will be sent out to your buyers, whereas campaigns are the rules for the timing and targeting of each of those templates. So who will receive this message and when will they receive it is controlled by campaigns. The first main template option is buyer-seller messaging. So you can use a wizard template, which is one of our kind of pre-built templates that we offer for you when you first set up your account, or you can customize or create your own template from scratch. If you are customizing or creating your own, just make sure that you stay compliant with all of Amazon's policies, We're putting a link in the Zoom chat right now with some reference information about Amazon's policies for buyer-seller messaging, how to request reviews properly, etc. So make sure you refer to that as you're setting up your templates to avoid any issues with Amazon. And you'll also want to follow some best practices to make sure that you're setting up very effective templates to get good results. So we're sharing a second link with some best practices, and you can look into that to make sure that your subject lines and email content are as effective as possible. On the other hand, if you want to use the official Amazon feedback and review request, getting started with that is very simple. You pretty much just need to turn it on, and then Amazon creates their own approved message for you. I want to go a little deeper on the official Amazon feedback and review request. So it looks like this. You can see on the slide that Amazon feedback and review request template with the Amazon logo. That's what it looks like in your account. And this is different from buyer-seller messaging in a few key ways. You can see an example message on the right side of the screen right now. So if you're curious to see what it looks like, it's a nice clean message with a product image, and it asks for both a product review and seller feedback, both in the same email. So this is different from buyer-seller messaging in a few ways. Firstly, it will not show up in your sent messages in Seller Central because it's just not going through the buyer-seller messaging system at all. And for that reason, buyers can't reply to these messages to get directly in touch with you. And FeedbackFive will not be able to record open rates for these messages either, since Amazon is actually directly sending it. But Amazon automatically translates these requests to the buyer's preferred language, so whatever they've chosen in their buyer account, so that's really nice. And best of all, perhaps, there is zero chance of Amazon terms of service issues or accidentally breaking any policies. So it's a really quick and easy and safe way to get started asking for both feedback and reviews. Now I'm going to pop out of my slides and actually go into FeedbackFive and show you how you would go about setting up either of these options for your emails. So just bear with me while I switch really quickly. So you can see I'm on a FeedbackFive demo account dashboard. So first I'll go to emails and click on templates. And when you start off with your account, you'll see that you have the official Amazon request, and then you'll have two wizards for product review and for seller feedback. So those are the three that you'll start off with. And for my example today, I'm going to pretend that I'm a private label seller and I'm just primarily looking for product reviews on my own Amazon listings. So I'll start off with the wizard product review template and go the buyer seller messaging route first. So you can see this is a kind of pre-built template. We give you some suggested wording, but you can tweak the subject line, you can add your logo, you can kind of adjust a few different things here. And if you preview, it looks something like this. So in your real account, you should be able to see the real product image and your own item would show up here. This is just kind of a pretty simple message, but it works pretty well. But let's say I'm on the pro plan level, so I have all the full email options, and maybe instead of this small leave product review hyperlink, maybe I want to try out a nice large colorful button to click instead. So for that option, I will click on Switch to Advanced Editor up here at the top right. This opens the same template, just in a more freestyle template editor, so you can really customize it however you want. And you can see the way that that product review hyperlink and the product image are being inserted is with this shortcut tag, so product review image in the double brackets there. And I'm just going to change out that shortcut tag for a different one. So I can delete that and just leave my cursor where it is. Click on shortcut tags. I can scroll through the list and see all the different options. For this one, I like to use product review button with image. So you can see a sample of what it would look like. It's just going to be the real product image filled in automatically and this nice big button that you can click on. You can customize the wording and the color so it coordinates with your logo or anything you want to do here, and just click OK. So now you can see it's a different shortcut tag, product review button image. I can preview, and you see it looks something like this. So it's going to be the real message. And if that buyer did purchase multiple products, it'll show each product with its own button, but if they purchase just one, it'll shrink down to one. So it's pretty dynamic. And I can make any other edits I want and then just click save. When I click save, I'll get notified that I need to give it a new name. So let's call it customized product review with button and image, or whatever you want to say, so you remember which one it is. And then back on the templates page, you'll see that I have this new one. So now comes the part where we need to set it up on a campaign. And to do that, I need to figure out when I want to send it, how I want to send it. I can just easily send it to all my customers using a default campaign, but I may want to target a little bit more specifically. So we'll go over to the campaigns page. And first, I could just go to the default product review request, and I can switch it to any template that I want. But this is sort of pre-built, so there's not a lot of flexibility in the rule options here. So that's a great way to just get started easily and send to everyone. But I'm going to show how to create a new campaign with a little bit more targeting. Let's say that I want to send these emails only on certain days of the week. Maybe I've noticed that my buyers are much more active, say Tuesday through Saturday, but Sundays and Mondays, they don't seem to be online placing orders or anything. So I want to target my emails to the days when they're most active and likely to leave a review. So I'll click Create New Campaign. I can call it Product Review Tuesday through Saturday. Description can be whatever you want. And then where it says use this template, I'll just choose Customize Product Review with button and image, the one that I created. I can set the timing however I want. And then where it says add another rule, I'll choose send only on these days. And you can see we have a lot of other options here. Sadly, I can't go into all of them in detail today, but feel free to play around with them and check out our help center where we have a little more detail on each of these rules and how they work. But I'll choose send only on these days and then just deselect the days I don't want. And it's always a good practice if you're asking for reviews or feedback, you can exclude your refunded orders by just choosing send to refunded orders never. And you can layer a few different rules on top of each other if you'd like to. But I'm just going to keep it at that and activate. So now let's say that I've been sending this custom buyer-seller messaging request for a few weeks and seems to be doing okay, but maybe I want to experiment with the official Amazon request and see if that gets a better response from my audience. There's a couple different ways that I could switch over from buyer-seller messaging to the official Amazon request. One way would be just to turn off this campaign and turn this one on. So that's probably the easiest way. But if I click into this campaign, again, it's a default campaign, so it kind of has some rules pre-built into it. And maybe I want to keep on sending only Tuesday through Saturday, but I want it to be the official Amazon request instead of my custom message. If that's the case, I can actually keep the same campaign and just switch out the template. So it's the Amazon feedback and review request template. I get a reminder that I can only send it 5 to 30 days after delivery. There's a few other conditions that Amazon sets here. And I'll just save. So that way, nobody gets a duplicate request because you really only want to send one request per order. But this campaign will only send once for each order that falls under the conditions. So if I just change out the template, it's the same campaign and it'll just continue sending seamlessly. Now you'll notice that the open rate line item here kind of disappeared once I switched it to this template. Again, that's because Amazon is directly sending this message, so we're not able to track the open rate. And you might ask, well, how do I know if it's working well, if I can't see the opens? Even if we don't have open rate, you can always track the actual reviews and feedback that you're receiving, and you can see whether they're increasing from the day that you switch to this official request. So to do that, let's talk about product reviews first and how to monitor those. I'll go to product reviews here at the top. And you see that I have some added already here. When you first come in, it'll be totally blank. You'll be able to click on Add, Remove ASINs, and you can either select them from your catalog or just paste them directly in the list or upload a file, whatever you prefer to start monitoring the ASINs that you want. Since I have these here already, they've been able to go ahead and load all the reviews from the last 90 days. You can really see how that works. We pull in the average rating, the number of positive and negative, what date the last review was received. So it's best to monitor all the items that you're asking for reviews on, or preferably all the items in your catalog, or as many as possible. And once all this data is loaded, you can click on the title of the item to see all of those specific reviews. This one has a lot, so it's going to take a second to load. There we go. And then you can use our filtering on the left side to see, for example, only the negatives if you want to understand what kind of issues your buyers are having and maybe respond to them. To respond, you just click on the title of the review, and that opens that review directly on Amazon so that you can leave a public response. So we just pull it all together for you, make it really easy to respond to that review. Just click the title. You could also filter by, say, only positive reviews and see, what is it that buyers seem to like the best about this product? Maybe I should incorporate that into my listing. Anything you pretty much want to find out about your customers' reaction to these items, you can drill down, and you can even download a CSV report of all these reviews to go even further. So that's how to monitor your product review results in FeedbackFive. And if you'd like, if you're on the Pro plan or above, you can also track your seller feedback. And I do recommend setting up to monitor for both. Even if you're more focused on asking for just one or the other, it's good to keep an eye on everything that your buyers are saying and the total health of the ratings on your account. So on the feedback page, if you're on the Pro plan or higher, again, you will see all of your negative feedback automatically. And that includes any rating that's 3 stars or lower. So we just include neutral in with negative. Next to all of those, you'll see this option to contact the buyer, which is nice. You can click that and it just gives you this nice message. You can customize it for each situation and send off this email to actually ask the buyer to change or remove their feedback. And you're allowed to send this just one time per order. That's Amazon's policy. And it makes it really easy and convenient for your customer to change their rating if you were able to resolve whatever issue they had. So it's a really good way to keep your percentage high on seller feedback and make sure that your buyers are happy. So you should have that pulled in automatically. And to help facilitate responding to negative feedback and to negative product reviews, you can turn on alerts just by going to this page. And it's pretty straightforward. I have email alerts turned on for both seller feedback and product reviews. If you have a US mobile number, you can also turn on text message alerts if you'd like. And you can set either individual emails or a daily summary. You can set the times that you want to receive text messages. Whatever setup here works best for your process, you can pretty much turn these off and on just as needed. So that's how to turn on your alerts, how to make sure that you can respond to both product reviews and feedback quickly and easily, and make sure you're managing your seller reputation and keeping all your scores high. Now there's one final piece of the setup that you will want to do for seller feedback. So I mentioned that you have your negative feedback pulled here automatically. For positive seller feedback, that's actually stored in a different Seller Central report. And so we need additional permissions from the Seller Central side to be able to pull that in. So mine is already set up to pull in positive feedback as well, but you won't see that automatically. you'll need to set up what we call enhanced feature access. So I'll just show you quickly where to go for instructions on doing that, since it is something that you have to do in Seller Central. So you'll go back to Store Settings, which you're familiar with by this point. You'll click on Enhanced Feature Access and then just click here, and you'll get the step-by-step instructions for exactly how to set those permissions in Seller Central. And just like with anything else, if you run into any questions as you're working on that, don't hesitate to reach out and we can help you troubleshoot or even jump on a screen share call with you and kind of go through the process with you if needed. Once you have all of this set up, just get ready to see results. You should see feedback and reviews coming in, emails going out. Make sure to just jump into your dashboard pretty regularly and keep an eye on the daily summary emails that you're receiving to make sure everything's going smoothly, especially when you first get started. And again, if you have any questions for us or you want to do maybe a deep dive on your own account, just get in touch with us anytime and we're happy to help you with that. So now we will just spend a few minutes taking questions, but first I have one last request for all of you. You may be aware that sellers can now review apps directly in the Amazon Marketplace App Store. And you know that reviews and feedback are important, otherwise you probably wouldn't have signed up for FeedbackFive. So we also need reviews, and we'd really appreciate if you would share a review of FeedbackFive. We're going to put the link from the slide into the chat right now. So you can click that link in the Zoom chat and have the tab ready and waiting so that when the webinar is over, you can jump over there and leave a quick review. And we really do appreciate every single review we get and read each one. So thank you in advance if you leave a review. All right, let me take a look at the Q&A box. So I see a question that actually is very common. I get this question a lot in my onboarding sessions. Just the question of which template should I use? So should I use buyer seller messaging template? Should I use the official Amazon request? That is sort of unique for every seller. So I don't want to say blanket rule, you should use one or the other. We offer both options because both have their kind of pros and cons depending on your situation. So I suggest looking at our article in the Help Center on what is the official Amazon feedback and review request. You'll see that just right kind of near the top, and I think we have the link in the chat as well. If you read that article, toward the bottom, we have kind of a chart breaking down the pros and cons of each one. So you can take a look at that and decide for yourself, is this going to work best for my business? And you can always test both. So you can set up your campaign with buyer seller messaging request first, see how that goes for, I would usually say at least 2 weeks, maybe even 30 days, depending on your order volume. You want to give it a while, and then you can swap to the official Amazon request or vice versa and make sure that you're monitoring the reviews and feedback that come in and see which one seems to give you more ratings. And that's really the ultimate way to decide. And yes, for anyone who maybe missed this, we are recording, so we will share out that recording very shortly. I see a very good question from Orna. How can we overcome the fact that many buyers opt to not receive emails? Is it possible to automate the Amazon request? Yes. So a lot of buyers do opt out, and that's their right. People who don't want to receive emails probably aren't very interested in leaving a review, so they can always unsubscribe. That's always the case, and there's not really a workaround to try to get in touch with those people, and they would probably be very upset if you did. So not a good idea to try to get past that. As for the second part, is it possible to automate the Amazon request? Yes, that's exactly what the official Amazon feedback and review request template in FeedbackFive is. So if you attach that to a campaign and you just turn it on, it'll be going out regularly for all your orders that fall under whatever rule conditions you've set. So you can just set it to however many days after delivery that you want to and just turn it on. Or you can create a custom campaign and specify more targeted rules, kind of whatever you want to do. But those are the same request that goes if you go in Seller Central and click on request a review, but it just goes out automatically. So thank you for that question. One last question here, I think, before we wrap up. Is it possible to send an email just to say thank you for your order, etc., or some instructions for the product? Yes, I only demoed product review requests, but you can actually set up really any type of email you want as long as it's allowed by Amazon. So if you have a product that does need some instructions, you can create a custom template and put those instructions in and make sure all your buyers are receiving that just shortly after placing the order. So that would go through buyer seller messaging. That's totally allowed. You just want to be careful not to send too many emails. So I wouldn't recommend saying, one email for just thank you and one email also for instructions and then another one for feedback. That turns into too many very quickly. It's best to, as far as possible, just keep it to one email per order and definitely only one request per order. So if you need to send some instructions, you could put instructions and a review request kind of all together in an email, or find a way to kind of make sure the buyers who really need those instructions, maybe the first time customers get instructions and then repeat customers get a review request. There's a lot of different ways to kind of split that out. But yeah, as long as the email content is allowed by Amazon, you can set up anything you want. All right. Thank you all for your participation and your attendance. And thank you if you're planning on sharing a review on the Amazon App Store. Again, we really appreciate that. And if you ever have ideas for future webinars, certain topics that you'd want to do a deeper dive on, please let us know. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts and hopefully present on topics that you all are looking for in the future. So thank you again for jumping on today. The recording will be out shortly, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.